everyone, and welcome to the Kauai County Council Roundup here at Ho'ike Studios. My name is Mel Rapozo, County Council Chair, and Vice Chair Kipukai, Kualii.
Aloha.
We're here recapping yesterday's council meeting. It was a short meeting, but an important one. Starting off with a Charter Review Commission interview, and this was interesting because last year on the election there was a charter amendment that allowed the charter or the commissions that the mayor could appoint commissioners to the commission that were high school students. And yesterday we had one of our first nominee, Swede Sandblom, and he is a senior at Waimea High School, and he is being nominated for a seat on the Charter Review Commission. And what an amazing guy.
Very impressive. He seemed much older than a high school student.
His voice was so deep.
Yeah.
When he spoke, he's like, "Hi, how are you?"
Just very thoughtful too. He did his homework. He studied the different commissions. He felt like he really wanted to be on the Charter Commission because he felt that was the most important commission, because setting the charter, basically the Bible, the Constitution of the county, impacts all the other commissions. So I mean, he said all of that. And I was really impressed. And of course, we learned too. I mean, some of our council members knew him from a long time. I think Errol said he knew him since he was a baby.
Before he was born.
Before he was born, because I guess he worked with the mom, right?
Yeah.
And his parents are pretty impressive too.
But I gotta say, oftentimes we have nominees that come up for interviews, and they don't really know the duties of the commission. They get appointed, they get a real...
And that's okay too, right?
That's fine.
They're willing to serve, they're willing to learn.
And I mean, you read the duties, you read the charter, but this guy, Swede is his name, really understood the Charter Commission, and maybe it helps that his mom sits on that commission as well. Mm-hmm. So he had the one-on-one personal mentorship, but it was just refreshing to hear this.
Went to Kipukai Elementary, is currently in Waimea High School. So.
Yeah, he's an impressive kid, and wants to be an engineer,
yep.
Either electrical or mechanical.
His grandfather's steps, I think, right?
Yes. So that was a great way to start the meeting, and gives us hope that there is this new generation that can step up and be part of our future, because really, we say it all the time, right? We are making decisions that impact future generations, and the charter plays a big role. So we will vote. I mean, it's obvious that he'll get the votes, and he will be appointed at the next council meeting. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. Right after that, we had a request from Kauai Police Department to accept and receive a grant in the amount of $188,000 from the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program, which is a state program, and that it will help offset the cost of KPD's drug projects.
Overtime, renting of vehicles, training, equipment, new technology.
And, as was said yesterday, whenever we can get the state or the feds to grant us funds, it takes the pressure off of our general fund and our real property taxpayers. So we'll always welcome that. And we had other minor things as well, but
a couple of indemnification provisions, which is standard, right?
Standard for us. Our charter requires all indemnification agreements to be approved by the council, so we're not going to bore you with that. You can watch it. I'll explain later how you can watch our meetings. Up next was a request from the council to approve and accept a gift of improvements from the Hanalei Initiative, which is a nonprofit, for the basically fixing up of the Hanalei Pavilion, and this was valued in the amount of $111,000. This is a retroactive approval because the work had already been done, and technically we're supposed to do the approval ahead of time, but this work was done through community input. And basically what it was, it's the Hanalei Pavilion was, if you're all familiar with the pavilion, they had all these hollow tile walls, and they really blocked the view of the beach, and
the breeze, the sunshine.
When you think of a pavilion, no matter what pavilion you go to, Lid Salt Pond, any pavilion, Wailoa House Lots, there's no walls. It's just the pillars and the roof. So
the roof needed repairs, and so as all part of that, they did the roof repairs and the removal of the walls.
And it looks fabulous.
Yeah, it sure does.
It looks fabulous. So,
And we learned too that even though the donation came through the Hanalei Initiative, which is this great nonprofit in Hanalei now doing all kinds of work with lots of community input and support, there was a donor that came forward and made a significant contribution primarily for this purpose. I think the community learned about the roof being needing repairs. So it started with the roof needing repairs, and then the community wanted to see this kind of improvement too. So, I mean, I had said right from the beginning, I mean, I had been there years ago and I've been there more recently, and it's just a market improvement. I mean, just driving by to be able to look out to the park and see the pavilion all open and see the ocean, and it just feels and looks so much better. And I thought about it too from a public safety standpoint, right? With the cops when they go by.
yeah, I think there was a lot of inappropriate behavior that was happening inside of that pavilion with when the walls were up. And as Mr. Kualii said, as the police officers drive by, you can't see it. And I know I was a cop out in Honolulu for many years, and that was, going to check that pavilion was always a dangerous thing because you could never see what's inside. And as you turn that corner to get to the inside, you never know what's on the other side. So I think for public safety, just for convenience as well, if you've ever been in that pavilion and been to a party in that pavilion and the wind is blowing the other way, it is very hot and stuffy. And I just think a pavilion should be open. If you live in Hawaii, I think. So I know there was some concern that
We had the parks director up there, and then it was Councilmember Cowden who expressed she was feeling the opposite. She didn't like that was done, and she felt like that we needed to be more input from the community. And when the parks director said, it's been a couple of years now that it's been in place, that it's all been positive, and she said, well, it's not for me though.
yeah, it was a safe place for some of the houseless and homeless community, and I think that was part of the problem. The community did not want that to be. That's a public pavilion, so there's obviously both sides to every issue.
She expressed too about people using it as a shelter too, and the walls being good to keep the rain and stuff out. But then everyone else agreed that, like all our other pavilions, when you have events there and everything, if it's a bad weather day, then you kind of plan for it and you bring the tarps or you bring the coconut fronds and you put them up, right? Because you're going to have a party, you want to keep the wind and the rain out.
Yeah.
So it just takes a little bit more effort,
It is a public resource, and it's there for the public. And I'm really happy that they did the roof because, even though the request says $111,000, I can almost guarantee you that if the county went out to bid
Oh, yeah.
just for the roof, the amount would be more than $111,000. That's just how it works. So much mahalo to the Hanalei Initiative and beautifying that place and fixing that roof. Aside from that, we had another resolution that confirmed the appointment to the Charter Review Commission. This was an interview that we did 2 weeks ago, Christine Ng. So we voted on that, obviously unanimously. So she is now a Charter Review Commissioner. And we had 2 bills, and it's related. It is pertaining to the Hanapepe monument that will be installed out at the Hanapepe property that we purchased, the county purchased, to honor the Hanapepe Massacre event, which is a somber event for many, but it is definitely a part of our history here on Kauai. And the Open Space Commission, as well as the County Council, agreed that that purchase would be appropriate, that in fact we should dedicate that parcel, those parcels, it's 2 parcels, with a memorial, dedicating and memorializing the events that occurred on that day.
The 1924 Battle of Hanapepe, the labor, and the tragedy, right? Because many people were killed that day too in a labor struggle.
Yes.
But this also has been being worked on for quite a while by our open space, by planning with the community. I think it says since 2016, so it's kind of long overdue. I mean, we went to the groundbreaking not too long ago, right?
Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, when
all the
something-
community was there.
Yeah, when something gets onto the Open Space Commission, the planning department did a heck of a job with the research and not just utilizing Google. These people went out in the community, talked to stakeholders, families of the individuals that were involved in that actual event. And we got a chance to read the information that they had found, and it's quite significant. Definitely, again, as I said earlier, a big part of our history here on Kauai. And I think it's only fitting that we memorialize it with a monument. So basically, the two bills, the first bill takes the money from our fund balance, from the budget, from the general fund, moves it into open space. And then the second bill takes it from open space and puts it into a specific fund for that project.
For the monument.
For the
itself.
monument project.
And historically, the open space monies were primarily for acquiring the lands, but now we have, because we passed a law not too long ago, right, or in the last year or so, the ability for a small percentage of that to go towards improvements on the land. So this 215,000 is to go to actually constructing the monument with the community's input, of course.
I'm excited about it, and in fact, at the committee meeting after the public hearing, the public hearing was set for, let me double check here, August 27th. So on the committee meeting following that, it'll be an interesting meeting because we will have all the stakeholders there. We will have family members there sharing their story and the importance of this project. I encourage everyone to tune in at some point to watch, because again, I have been here all my life and I am 60 years old. And while I had heard about it, I did not know anything about it.
A specific location.
I mean, and
just
just
right down the road.
what happened that day. And it is quite an interesting story. I'm surprised that, and maybe a movie will be made, but it is definitely worthy of being in some documentary or even a real life movie, because it is quite significant and very, very interesting of how it occurred. You had all these union workers, labor workers, and you had all these police officers, some even related, that, and as Kipukai said earlier, it was a tragic day because you had a lot of workers and police officers that perished. So interesting story, and that again will be in our committee meeting. I think it's
like the memorial in Koloa town to the plantations. I think this memorial too will then provide a place where people can stop by and learn a little bit about the history. Probably will have plaques and things like that. And then right now that area has been sort of like just, people parking there and what have you, but there's big shower trees, and so now they'll designate parking on the outer areas, and then it'll become a small corner park that people can use. So
it'll be a great
be
place to pay tribute to those individuals. And I think as the families still are here on Kauai, wouldn't that be nice to spend your loved one's birthday or that day of the event and go down to the park and have a little picnic there and honor your loved ones. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think definitely money well spent. And it kind of wrapped it up. It was a pretty short meeting. And again, folks, we are here at Ho'ike Studios. We want to thank Roger and the team here for allowing us to do this every week, recapping the council and committee meetings. You can now watch our council meetings live on Ho'ike's YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search up Ho'ike, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get reminded whenever they go live. But you can also watch all of the archives there on their YouTube channel as well. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and go to www.kauai.gov. A little more hard to find the meetings, but if you click the webcast meeting button and then hit archives, you can watch all of the planning commission meetings, county council meetings there on our county website. But the YouTube channel for Ho'ike is much easier. I think the quality is better just because it's YouTube. So I encourage all of you to get over there as soon as you can. And Ho'ike.org is their website. A lot of good things happening here at Ho'ike. And we appreciate all that they do for the community. So anything else, my friend?
Yeah, just mahalo. Thank you, Roger, here in the studio. And thank you also to Olivia, who comes out to our council meetings every Wednesday and does the filming there. And of course, thank you to everyone at Ho'ike.
Olivia is probably the most informed
young person
on the island, because she's got to listen to all of these things live.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so thank you again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Until next time, ahui ho. God bless.
Aloha.